When something goes wrong at work or at home, what's your first instinct? Are you inclined to assess your actions and see what you did to contribute to the situation? Or are you more likely to shift the blame onto someone or something else? For many of us, the latter is the easier option. We can take pressure off our shoulders and hand it over to someone else. We get some instant relief and a chance to avoid bigger issues, but that isn't always healthy. In today's video, I want to talk about 10 ways to develop personal accountability. This means working hard to get away from that blame game and state of avoidance, and instead appreciating personal responsibilities and opportunities for growth. Why learn the power of personal accountability? The more we lean into personal accountability, the better we become. This is true within our professional relationships as we work on personal development and efficient results. But it's also true for personal relationships, where we may have a habit of blaming others for negative outcomes. Remember, personal growth and development here allow for the ability to avoid problems in the future. It's all about making sure whatever happened doesn't happen again. Once you've analyzed the issues with full accountability, you can work on making progress for better results in the future. These efforts may be personal, with private journals and moments of reflection, or they could be more collaborative as you work to fix those fractured relationships. So, where to start? Well, it all begins with one very important step. Number 1. Acknowledge that there is a problem to fix. This is where many people will fall down at the first hurdle. Some of us just aren't in the habit of admitting that there are problems in our lives. If we admit it, we either show weakness or force ourselves to make an uncomfortable change. Others know there's a problem and can see things falling apart around them, but just don't want to take any responsibility or go through any extra work. At this point, the blame game starts and the excuses begin to flow. So the next steps are to overcome these reactive responses. Number 2. Stop blaming other people. If you're the sort of person to lay blame on others and have strong reactions to unforeseen bumps in the road, you're probably reactive rather than proactive. This is something you can fix, and I have a whole new video looking into ways to do this. A big problem here is that knee-jerk reaction to blame someone else for their involvement or influence even if you know you're largely at fault. This is a common problem in workplace situations, where it's easier to blame a lack of communication from management or them moving the goalposts on expectations than to show accountability. Or you might start blaming other team members by exaggerating their mistakes or lack of input. There are also situations where we pass the blame in personal relationships. If something goes wrong at home, do you look for ways to blame your partner or kids for their part in it all? Say you left some food on the counter unattended. Do you blame the opportunistic dog or yourself for your carelessness? Number 3. Stop blaming external forces and higher powers. What I mean by this is that there are always going to be excuses based on other factors in your life, but these simply deflect blame and stop you from dealing with accountability. Good examples of this are the weather or the traffic. A heavy rainstorm might delay plans to go out for meetings or errands, or bad traffic might make you late. But those that show personal accountability know that they could have planned a different route during rush hour, rescheduled a day to suit the weather forecast, or simply worn weather-appropriate clothing and gotten on with the day. On top of this, there's also a tendency to defer accountability to a higher power, such as a deity or the universe. Whether or not you believe in divine intervention and fate, you can't use this as an excuse for everything that goes against you. Number 4. Start asking yourself tough questions. Personal accountability requires the ability to ask yourself tough questions and give honest answers. Say a project fell through at work and you have to start over. Ask yourself why this happened. What objective fact-based reasons are there for the situation you're currently in? Also, what can you honestly say you did or didn't do that contributed to that outcome? There are sure to be things you could have done differently or mistakes made, no matter your intentions to do your best. Take the time to really analyze the situation. Number 5. Take some time to look at how you respond to these setbacks. While going through this period of analysis, you also need to look at your reactions as much as your actions. The way you respond to setbacks can make a big difference in your perspective and your ability to focus on accountability. If your gut reaction was to blame others or get angry, you may already be on a negative path without a clear and level-headed solution at the other end. someone else may be dealing with repercussions based on that deflection. Number 6. Hold your hands up and set things straight. There's a level of honesty within building personal accountability that's hard to master, and it comes in 2 stages. The first is the ability to be honest with ourselves. If you can look at yourself in the mirror and say that you messed up, that's a great start. Say I messed up on this because I did this. Appreciate your responsibility for the cause and effect. The next step is to say this to other people. This can be trickier, especially when you fear their reactions. What if a friend gets mad at you for messing up, or you lose a position on a workplace team because you own up to your boss? There are possibilities, but not certainties. If you're honest, accountable, and willing to make amends, you should be fine. Also, public declarations of accountability let you clear the names of those that took the blame while offering the chance for an apology. Number 7. Create a peer-based accountability group. Some people find it's actually far easier to be accountable when you have other people to talk to. Peer-based accountability groups work in several situations to help people discuss growth and shortcomings. You can talk about your mistakes and struggles as well as your plans for personal development. At the same time, you can hear similar stories from others with shared experiences or different perspectives. Together, you can lift each other up for better outcomes and relationships. And now, before going to the next tip, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to click the notification bell so you'll be notified of my latest videos as soon as they're published. And now, let's go ahead with the video. Number 8. Work on your own goals for personal development. Peer-based groups are great, but you also need to be able to work independently to achieve full personal development. Your peer group may be too focused on one area of your life or biased towards certain approaches, so it also helps to figure out ways of setting goals on your own. You can be more honest about what you want from life and what needs to change when you write in a personal journal. You can start with small achievable goals to get you on the right path. Number 9. Put in consistent work in different areas of life. If you want to make real changes to curb these situations of blame and negative reactions, you need to be committed. A good way to do this is to work on making accountability a part of your life in different situations. Don't just focus on your responses to work-based tasks and relationships with colleagues. Pay attention to how you stay accountable at home when something goes wrong with the house or in personal relationships. It's also a good idea to keep track of your strengths and weaknesses, your goals, and your small victories in a journal. Progress tracking allows you to see your growth more easily. Number 10. Appreciate that better accountability doesn't eliminate problems. Over time, you can improve the way you show accountability and proactivity for better responses. But there are still going to be times when something goes wrong. Something will cause you to lose a client at work, start a fight with your partner, or experience financial stress. The important thing here is your response. Put that growth and development into practice and catch yourself before falling into old habits, such as the blame game. If you slip, apologize, hold your hands up, and start over. Are you ready to be accountable? I'm not gonna lie, this one may have been a tough watch for a lot of people. I expect some people clicked off partway when they didn't want to face the truth. It's easier to avoid personal accountability than admit fault and put in the hard work to make things right. So, if you made it this far and are prepared to reevaluate your own level of personal accountability, I'm proud of you. Hopefully, the tips here will give you a starting point where you can work on your actions and reactions. It might be as simple as learning how not to play the blame game when things go wrong. Or you might be ready for some deeper personal development and goal setting. Find what works for you and be patient with yourself if you slip into old habits. Finally, I just want to say thank you for watching this. If you think it might be of use to others, don't forget to like and share. And now, make sure to click here right now to watch the next video, where I show you how to get up early and make the most out of your day.